Good evening, Rando fans. Here we are, another Link to the Past Randomizer SGLIVE 2021 tournament match. My name is Blaine. I'm here with Foxless. Fox.
Hey, it's going good. I'm looking forward to this. I've never done rando commentary before, so I'm just trying to not embarrass myself too much.
I will also try to assist with the, keeping the embarrassment under control. We've got Tam versus Spleebie. This is an elimination match. The final match for both these players before they make it to top 32. Rando is tough. It's especially tough when you're in a best of one and the loss would mean it's the end of your tournament. So hard to keep those nerves in check. Tough mode. It's kind of a mode that's kind of going for a new hard mode with boot start. We see a lot of low percent early games, so
yeah, it's interesting because of the hearts, right? Because there's no or like 2, I think, heart containers.
When you've played this game for a long time, you're very used to nice early map check. I never liked the early map check because it makes your escape time worse, and we all know that that's really what matters. But we get the early map check there. Had a bottle in Uncle's house too, which is, I guess, nice, even though they'll be empty until we put something in them ourselves. Yeah, the hearts are a big deal. I mean, most of the time in a regular rando race, you end up pretty comfy, even by the time you reach Dark World, and that's not going to be the case in all likelihood.
No, it is definitely harder unless you get lucky and find an early blue mail. But I think actually the most interesting thing about this mode to me is that we're back to the dark ages of not having progressive bows. That actually, I don't know how much it changes. I think different people have different feelings about how it should affect their play, but it certainly changes the relative value of like dipping pod early and stuff like that. Changes the dynamic of around hunting for a bow a lot.
We could quibble on your framing of that as the Dark Ages, but
oh, I'm totally joking. Totally joking.
Yes, that would take too much time if we went into that anyway. But yeah, it's not a significant change, but it is a change, right? Like most of the time, progressive bow is not going to make a big difference in a race. Sometimes it will, and we know that both runners will have to go to the same place to get the bow in this one.
Yeah. I guess technically the bow might not be required if they can mimic clip, but
might not. I don't know. I didn't see. I saw the map check and didn't see what the actual, pendency were. So we do have a background issue, I think. So I don't even really see what's on the tracker yet. So I'm sure we'll work on that, and maybe Fox and I will be able to understand the items that have come up and where the pendants and crystals are. So. Right now, we're just watching Escape. Escape, actually, there's a lot of interesting things with the boot starts for Escape. And, oh, man, okay.
Oh, Tam.
Tam's going to bail, and this is very smart because
you
do not want to start off your race eating it on ball and chain. This is a very difficult fight with 3 hearts in a do-or-die rando match. This green guard is just he wants to get in there, man.
He's playing for keeps.
So both runners have a mini disaster, and we're just basically neck and neck coming out of ball and chain, so everything's fine.
Yep, nothing too exciting here. The only thing, I guess, is the bottle, which I'm a big fan of just going to Kakariko. I know some people like to put it off, but I think the bottle is one of the things that will push people towards going to Kakariko, even if they sometimes like to delay it a little bit at the beginning.
Yeah, there are multiple... Depending what you come out of Escape with, depending on your money, depending on your bombs, depending on things like that you found flute or bottle, it can never. I don't think it'll ever be wrong to just go straight to Kakariko. You can sometimes try to be a little more creative and put it off for a bit, but the payoffs on that are usually not tremendous. So it's very likely you can see both these runners head over to Kakariko, no matter what else they find here in Escape.
Right.
But, sometimes this game comes down to little tiny optimizations, and there are some loadouts early on where you can either look for a payout by not going immediately to Kakariko, or avoid some kind of disaster where you don't have money to buy bombs, you don't have any bombs, and you're going to try and gamble and go over there or something like that. So we might see one of those smaller percentage plays pay out. But
yeah, I haven't paid attention to the prize packs. I don't know if either player is really bothering to check them. Oh, never mind. There's bombs.
Okay, well that's always the nicest. I don't think we had many enemies killed, honestly.
Yeah.
Unless you're going out of your way, you're not typically killing enemies in boots, start, escape.
Yeah, well, dashes don't... Enemies killed with dashes don't drop, so it makes... You have to kind of stop to farm drops, and I guess neither of these players really wanted to, and then they found bombs, so they got paid off. See if there's anything more exciting in the back of Escape, but... Oh, there's a lamp. That's pretty nice. And a glove. Alright, well, I guess that's Death Mountain access.
So this is actually one of the situations where you can put off Kakariko a little bit, peel off of, let's say, a Lumberjack check to go and rescue Old Man. We'll see if either runner does that. It's, like I said, not a very likely play to be a big deal, but it's sort of a free check.
It's kind of nice. You're already at Sanctuary, so you can just go over there, especially if you like to check Lumberjack early. You're just like right there. But we'll see. There's kind of a lot of things you could do at the beginning. Generally, everyone is just going to check all the same stuff, and then all the really dense overworld locations, and then start having to make difficult choices about what to do next.
I did see that map check that time. Of course, now we have our background here on stream, and obviously our fantastic tracker Clear Mouse is... Wow, did you say early blue mail before? Because there's an early blue mail.
They're invincible.
That is a lovely thing. The best safety, arguably the best safety in the game.
Oh, I think it's definitely
to get at the 6-minute mark.
Yeah, yeah. We've got some rupees.
I was going to compliment our tracker Clear Mouse for having already filled in that stuff, even though I couldn't see it on the background yet. But there are the pendants and crystals. We had a regular crystal at Eastern Palace, green pendant desert, which is, and blue pendant up at T-Rock. The other mountain dungeon. All right, we are going to see a little divergence here.
Interesting, yeah. So Tam,
taking that opportunity, and we're just going to see Spleebie sticking to the tried and true route that I think in almost all the seeds you're going to do the same kind of route from Spleebie. So no real reason for him to diverge. We'll see if it has any impact at all, and the chances are pretty slim.
It seems pretty unlikely, yeah, unless Flute is on Death Mountain and Tam gets to skip a CAC check. But I mean, it's just not that hard to run to CAC again anyway.
The more likely scenario, honestly, is that it costs Tam time because he probably will climb the mountain here, and there is a bigger chance that it costs him an extra mountain climb than it saves him anything. So,
that's true. On the other hand, it also makes our job harder because we have to think about progression in 2 different locations at once. Yes. So
I'm loving the double heart beeps. Though.
Oh no!
I know who I'm rooting for now. Of course, Spleebie could have them too, in which case then my rooting interests are...
Oh, there's the Master Sword. Interesting. So that, of course, is already Aghanim access, which I guess doesn't matter without the Moon Pearl.
But you're thinking about it. Hey, Fire Rod.
Wow, there's a Fire Rod.
And all our fire sources. I don't know if it's like... Obviously, there are items you'd want to see here if you're doing this potential extra climb up Death Mountain. I mean, Master Sword might be one of them. Probably not a very impactful early find.
Depending, it's possible that you just like end up getting to kill a couple bosses with Master Sword before Spleebie makes it. Like if you get Dark World access right here,
yeah, that's exactly right.
And the mirror is really late or something, and there's no reason to go up Death Mountain for a while. Then
if we end up in the Dark World and we're finishing dungeons before Spleebie has any reason to climb the mountain, then it can be a pretty nice advantage. You know, especially low percent early on is what we're typically talking. Kind of interesting that Tam is still approaching Kakariko from the north. Typically when a runner's going to save and quit, they'll just do Kakariko from the south. I guess since he hasn't done any Lost Woods, it's probably pretty much the same.
Oh, there's the Moon Pearl.
Got a Moon Pearl on the bottom vendor.
You call this low percent, but Tam now has better gear than we have at the end of the low percent run. So
it's not the worst start you can have when you're worried about what could potentially happen. You know, you're being restreamed. It's the elimination match of a rando. You know, you're playing a seed where you're not going to get many hearts, and like they've got 5 hearts, they've got 2 swords readily accessible, they've got a bottle, they've got blue mail. It's as comfortable as you're going to get the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a lot of money too, which might come into play if we end up doing wanting to do fake flippers checks after South Shore. I don't know if Spleebie likes that route or not.
I would say it is overwhelmingly popular to at least do some of the water walking post Ice Rod Cave when you're down on the South Shore in boot starts modes.
I think so too. I think I see that a lot. There's another bottle. Spleebie's not going to bother with it.
Yeah, pretty good call. You're probably going to run into another bottle by the time you start needing them and or have the ability to go fill them.
Yeah. Spleebie is going to opt to pick up that heart container. A little bit interesting.
Very, very interesting, actually. Again, considering that they're already decently equipped on the health and safety front. This is not a trivial pickup. This is a lot of time spent on picking up a heart.
I don't know. I'm a little bit surprised. I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea, especially if you're like feeling really nervous and you just want to like not have to sweat so much. Maybe it's worth it. But Spleebie, I mean, both of these players are very strong runners. Spleebie just got a really good time in the all dungeons speedrun. So he could probably be fine without it, but also totally reasonable to just like not have to be worried about your health the whole run if you don't want to.
The other thing Spleebie could be looking at is, hey, we're hammer away from Dark World access. I've got the fire rod. Moth is probably a crystal. Let's get everything we can before we go fight Moth with this fighter's sword. And there's
another bottle.
Yeah.
And I believe the bottles are capped at 2, right?
That's right. So if he went back and checked the bottle in the library, it turned to something. I don't know what
it's some like glitchy double blue rupee, but the halves are backwards or something.
Double rupee is? Okay, I've been running into that and actually didn't know what that was. I knew it was replacing something, but
just a piece of heart on the dam. Spleebie's gonna go west actually for that Agina check. Nothing else you can do over here right now, so I don't know about this personally.
I don't hate this, but I kind of think it's a little risky with your current loadout because you're very, very close to being able to full clear desert if you had a book. If book shows up in Mini Moldorm Cave, you could just be doubling up on this run over here.
That's a good point, yeah.
It feels a little weird, but you know, maybe just you're trying not to really skip anything in the first 15 minutes that can ruin your seed. So I understand that feeling. With this particular loadout, I think there's just a little bit of extra risk because you're looking at if book shows up in Mini Moldorm, you're probably going over to desert, maybe even before you check Sahasrahla. So yeah. I don't know. It's an odd choice. Maybe it's just his standard route, and he just always does it. Yeah, that could actually, it's not a terrible play. It's just he'll have to hope he doesn't. What he wants is to not see book here or at Sahasrahla. I mean, you really almost never really want to see the book anyway, but
the book is a really annoying item, yeah. Especially since desert is a pendant.
Green pendant desert might be like my least favorite green pendant dungeon. It makes so many hard decisions. It's so hard to justify like not killing Landmo if you end up in Pendant Desert, and you almost always end up in Pendant Desert. Like either you're gonna mirror there later, or you get an early book or something like that. It's so awkward. It's right up there with Green Pendant T-Rock.
Nothing on South Shore so far, so we got to be thinking about what we're doing next. I would guess that Spleebie... Well, I guess both players are probably heading to the eastern area, and then depending on what's in Saha's closet... Well, I guess something exciting could be on Ice Rock Cave here. Well, I guess they'll actually... They're almost certainly going to go do fake flippers checks at this point, just because there's not that many other places to go.
Exactly. I'd be shocked if they didn't, even without the money for Zora. Especially if you're thinking like, hey, we're only a few areas away from doing AGA, so maybe we sequence break around AGA or something like that. So it's almost mandatory.
Zora is, of course, actually in logic, unlike Waterfall Fairy and Hobo, which makes skipping that while doing the other parts of that area feel real bad to me. But, sometimes you just don't have the money.
Sometimes you just find the money right here.
That it happens a lot, yeah.
Or some magic.
There's half magic. Spleebie going for a bunch of chess turns because he's trying to show up checks human.
I do appreciate them. I also appreciate Spleebie. Also, anybody remembering that they can throw a bottle in here. I don't think I've ever remembered in any seed I've ever played. So it's always like I see somebody doing like, oh yeah, you can do that. And I've probably said that to myself 50 times. Tam's not even going to check the ledge.
Tam's bailing. I love this.
I hate checking. I hate not checking the ledge. I gotta admit, I don't like it.
I love it. I hate going to Zora's area, any part of it, before you can check Zora. Going without money just feels so bad to me.
Yeah, but it's so fast. You just check the ledge and then you're gone, and you know that it's there, and then you're in a better spot to decide like I can just bail on Zora later and never check it. And now you're kind of like pressured into some 55-minute Zora check later on because you also haven't looked at the ledge.
Spleebie going up the mountain, Tam probably going to Saha. We know that the mountain offers one path to the Dark World. Tam is really hoping that Saha offers an alternative path.
I think this is a very smart play from Spleebie because he's probably looking like, okay, if I go to Sahasrahla, I'm doing Eastern before I can do anything else. If there's something up here that gives me Dark World access, then I don't get pulled into Eastern Palace unnecessarily. So this is nice and smart. Just
dipping Crystal Eastern without a bow is not a great feeling. Oh, there's the book. Gross.
Okay. Well, Tam doesn't hate it. He's just gonna go to desert.
That's fine. Yeah.
He's gonna hate it a little bit more when he gets.
Yeah, for Tam, there's 5 items over there. Yeah. For Spleebie, it's only it's still 3, but retreading some ground.
Easy choice for Tam to do that over the Eastern Palace dip.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's where that Agena check in that spot is gonna hurt Spleebie.
Spleebie might do Eastern though, right? It's a little bad, but there's 3 items there and there's 3 items on desert, and if you feel like, oh god, I already had to run over there once, maybe you start thinking about dipping Eastern?
He's gonna decide between 2 bad things. They're both gonna feel bad. Running back over to desert feels bad, and doing Eastern is gonna feel bad, so it's gonna be in that moment that he sees the book, which one feels actually worse. And that's the one that I won't do.
Yeah, the fact that we've had fire and, of course, boots since basically the opening of the game does kind of make you feel like, I don't know, should I do something with this fire and these boots? Like, perhaps Desert Palace?
Hey, we've got lamp lock chests one in Eastern. Could follow that lamp right into Eastern Palace.
That's true. I mean, Spleebie could also just say, oh, hell no, I'm not doing this, I'm going to AGA right now. If he wants to just bet it all on pod. I don't know if he's that much of a gambler, though.
That would be spicy. That would be a spicy play.
And there's the mirror.
Because the mirror is in Desert Palace, which
Interesting.
Is going to, I guess, not bite anybody. They've both been up the mountain now. They'll have to climb back up.
Yeah. I guess you could have...
also find Hammer here.
You could have skipped one of those climbs, but neither player did. Spleebie obviously heading straight here, gonna find that also. As you said though, there's no way that they're just bailing. I mean, again, you could choose to really spice it up and bail after the mirror or after checking vanilla big key chest and just say, I don't want to go kill the worms. But you'd have to be, oh, Tam's doing it. Ooh. Tam's out. We're chasing that mirror.
Yeah, while you were talking about how spicy it was, I was trying to decide how spicy it actually is, and it's spicy.
Do you think it's faster to run there than to mirror out?
if you mirror out, you can't escape. So you
that's true. Yeah,
technically want to you technically want to do it before you go in the dungeon. Most cases, unless you're going to kill Lanmo, in which case you just run over there after you kill Lanmo. He probably gets the mirror and says, "You know what? That's enough. I'm not going to kill Lanmo now. I got to run out of here and check Agina."
Very interesting.
It's not a terrible play. It does open up this vulnerability that can just kill you right very early. So, we'll see. Spleebie could very well do the same thing.
It's totally possible.
It's a long one item, right? It's not even.
It is.
Did you find a second item in there? I would, if I was paying attention, I would know that, but.
Yeah, we've only found the mirror, I'm pretty sure. We saw both the map and the compass on the east side, I believe.
Okay, so there's an item on Lanmo also.
Yeah, so it's 2-item Lanmo, and even if you don't do it immediately, you know for a fact you're going to be right next to Saha again in the future to finish Crystal Eastern.
There's just not that many items that the mirror unlocks by itself. That you're banking on 3 checks, giving you Dark World access or Death Mountain access. Tam's gonna do Aga before he goes back and does Lanmo if Lanmo.
Definitely
for his Dark World access.
100%. Yeah,
it is a huge risk in terms of what it costs you if it's wrong.
Yeah, it's gonna cost Spleebie what 90 seconds, 2 minutes to do these 2 checks.
Yeah, and Spleebie didn't do the right side of Desert either. He just went straight back to Lanmo. And
he's getting that totally for free, but yeah.
He's not going to even waste time checking those right side chests. So.
Gonna get away with it. Yeah, I guess at this point it just everything is just feels so bad. I didn't see what was in the lobby chest in Hera. We got a big key in the basement, which was nice. We get to finish it. Tam would have felt real bad getting locked out of the top of the dungeon. I guess he was counting items, which is good because I wasn't.
Well, at least it was a fast trip up the mountain. So this is Aga, right? Yep. Okay.
All rupees in Hera.
Yeah, this makes total sense for Tam. He's.
I guess Spleebie is probably going to do this too, right?
Well, Spleebie's going to turn in the green pendant probably at least first.
Do you turn in the green pendant? Do you check out Hera?
I mean, I guess you don't have to turn in the green pendant if you're thinking, I'm going to head over there.
Because you can do it right after Aga.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think you go to the mountain.
You don't have to turn in the green pendant, and you definitely do the mountain check. I mean, you got to follow the mirror at least a little bit.
Yeah, and especially
now,
with book, you get
Spleebie
tablet.
Be incentivized to finish killing Moldorm, even though Moldorm does not have an item.
That's true. Yeah, he's pretty close to Ped. Wow.
He may not kill Moldorm, but he will be a little more incentivized than Tam. Tam does not ever want to go back and kill Lanmo in this entire seed, so he has no reason to kill Moldorm while he's up there.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
and neither runner has checked Zora still. I guess Zora and the first few checks of Eastern and Saha are what we haven't seen besides Aga.
Yeah, I would be surprised if Spleebie does not turn in green pendant, and I would also be surprised if Spleebie goes into Eastern after turning in green pendant. Although Spleebie has played this pretty conservatively thus far, he may want to exhaust his options before committing to Aga also. We'll have to see what he goes with.
Yeah.
There are so many chest turns coming from Spleebie. It's actually incredible.
Tam having a tiny bit of trouble with that red alert room, but overall having a good Aga Tower climb here.
It's not a bad loadout for climbing Aga Tower, right? You've got Master Sword, you've got a Boomerang, you've got a Fire Rod.
Yeah. Yeah, Aga Tower climb is not seen as much in Rando, and it's a very technical sequence, trying to get through it fast, so it's cool to see people do that really well. So Spleebie is going to have a short think, but bail. Interesting.
Yeah. All right. It's not a mandatory kill there, but he was just slightly more incentivized. I don't think we saw either of the runners on their way up in the Dark World before they mirrored to the top of the mountain, check the crystals and pendants for the Dark World.
I don't think
Which would actually
so.
be very handy knowledge, considering if you're about to find hammer, let's say if you're Spleebie.
Oh, what are you?
Wow!
Wow!
Wow! Okay,
That's a choice.
We're getting some spicy plays. Okay. He's saying, you know what? It's not hammer on green pendant. It's not mitts on green pendant. We're going in.
Oh no, he's not. Okay.
He's thought better of it. He forgot probably that he actually had the green pendant to turn in. So that answers the question what he will do after this if this is not Dark World access.
Yeah,
He's
for
going
sure.
to go to Eastern Palace. Just bombs.
Yeah.
All right. So Tam potentially saving a lot of time if this Aga play is right, and if Eastern Palace is right, Spleebie is going to have a nice.
Yeah. This is going to be one player is going to be pretty far ahead in a couple minutes. Where are we saving quitting to?
Never mind, we're just back on the pyramid.
Okay. Oh, pendant pod. It's not like you can do anything about that. There's nowhere else to go.
Yep.
I guess you can check catfish first if you want.
He's got exactly 500 rupees. If he checks catfish and goes to Zora, he cannot get into pod.
Hell yeah.
That is a consideration here that I don't know if it has sunk in for him.
Oh, that's why he saved and quit. To save Scum Zora.
Wow, look at him being so much smarter than the two of us combined. Which is not hard to do, by
interesting. No, he was, very on top of things.
Imagine knowing things in this game.
I was just thinking, oh yeah, we can go to Zora, and I would never have occurred to me that you need Kiki money afterwards.
To be fair, Tam was probably thinking about it the entire way up Aga Tower, and
that's true.
Definitely not.
Nothing on catfish, which will make the Zora check feel better, because if you get something there, like if you get powder there, then what do? You don't want to save Scum anymore.
Very true, but he's gonna have to.
Yeah, and he got nothing, so an easy choice based on Zora. I think we've seen nothing in Eastern on Spleebie's side, by the way.
So far, yeah. And this is man, somebody's coming out from this pretty far behind. That's all I know.
Yeah, but we don't know who yet, which is exciting.
Zora
nothing on Zora.
We are back to our 500 rupee count for Tam. We will head over to Pod. And we have just one item, I think. Well, just one chest left for Spleebie here in Eastern.
Yeah. So this is either a mitt or a hammer or really bad news for Spleebie.
Well, it could be something.
I think.
But...
Oh, well, okay. Or the big key. Forgot about that little thing.
There were interesting things happening on the other screen. Who can blame us for not paying attention to Spleebie at all?
Tam has not very many hearts walking into their pod.
Ooh. All right, Spleebie has the bad news.
Aga
is... Well, we know Aga is required. Can he go to Zora?
There's no way, right? You have to do Aga at this point.
He's done everything else. He's been very methodical. He is not going to go do Zora.
Yeah, I very strongly agree with this play.
It would be very tough to talk yourself into, I don't even know, fake flippering down to Zora, running to Zora. What would you even do?
I guess you do
not
that.
Go to Zora. That's what you would do.
Yeah. And Pod, of course, is not bow locked because there is literally nowhere else in the game that we can go.
All right, this is a sizable chunk of time. It's an Aga Tower plus a Catfish and Zora check for Spleebie.
Yeah, he might not do those.
Right, he may go straight to
not doing those. Still, what, four-ish minutes to get to the top of the tower and kill Aga?
Yeah. If Tam never kills Landmo and never turns in Green Pendant, which it seems pretty likely that he would never want to even try those things, he's just banked that time save for the entirety of the seed. And if he single dips Eastern Palace later with the bow, which also seems pretty likely, I doubt he would ever be down to that decision. It's just banked time save. It's time that Spleebie cannot get back in those checks.
Right. GFE in chat pointing out that the big key location in Eastern Palace makes that a little less punishing than it otherwise would be.
Only slightly, but yes.
And Spleebie got to skip right side desert and stuff. It's not I mean, you know, this is looking really good for Tam, but not anything like over, but you got to feel good about Tam's position here. Whoa, I didn't know the spears blocked fire rod shots. I knew they blocked arrows. Getting all... Oh, wow.
That worst guard awareness in the world there.
I thought there were supposed to be items in the back of Pod. Yeah, there of course is the hammer. Not a surprising thing to find here.
It seemed pretty likely it was either going to be Mitt's hammer or hookshot. We've got our hammer. That's probably the best news out of all the items that really were going to be here. It's probably Spleebie would rather it be the hammer. I mean, he may not realize it at the time, but that's kind of going to leave some opportunities to not take the same route post pod dive once Spleebie gets over there. Or Tam could just burn to death here in the darkness.
He's setting up a death warp. Don't worry about the mirror on the tracker. We're setting up a death warp.
Okay, very good. I thought there was a chance he was just going to walk straight into that guy. I guess he doesn't have the big key yet because the big key's on the right side. They did not get a potion from the Waterfall Fairy.
Oh, wow.
Fairy, so they can't check it.
God, that's so weird that Pod can have the hammer in it and still not be able to finish because of the bow locked right side.
I mean, if you really wanted to, you could go Mimic Clip it, but nobody wants to do that.
No, I think I would stay out of progression. Well, I don't know. I like staying in logic, probably pathologically.
I mean, you'd have to do it before you went to the back, which just seems like a terrible commitment.
Yeah, I think you just want to find what you find and follow it.
All right, so Tam's gonna start here at Hype Cave. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
had the option to go to Skullwoods. He knows Skullwoods is a crystal. He knows Thieves Town is a crystal. Could have started up there, but you know, kind of a weak loadout. He's gonna get an extra heart at least by coming here. He could get an extra sword or something like that, and that would make his life a lot easier. Powder is
powders.
Nice.
That's all right.
Help a ton right now. Spleebie is gonna check the Catfish Zora.
We can check powder now.
Yep, that'll be a nice. Once we're over there in the village. Tam is headed to Bombos, I guess. This is Bombos.
Oh wow, yeah, okay. I guess now's when you do this if you're gonna do it. I think I would have just gone to the village, but it's a good chance to not leave this behind forever. He's already left behind a lot of things forever, so
yeah, he wants to. He definitely wants to limit the number of things he's going to outright skip going forward, because even though he knows it's not Hammer in Desert Palace, you know, it could be Bombos in Desert Palace, required for Misery Mire or something like that. So he's gonna be a little more careful, knowing that, hey, it looks like I've gotten away with the things that I didn't do. Let's not keep pushing the envelope. Or, you know, hide him. Maybe he keeps pushing the envelope. I don't know. I'm surprised he's not just saving and quitting. From Bombos.
We're gonna do. I guess they're gonna save and quit after big game instead. Or
yeah, and that's fine. I just figured
or just go up and
go into Bombos. He could have just save and quit and run over. Started his Dark World over at Skullwoods, done the 2 crystals, and then decided if he even wanted to get into this stuff. But here he is. It's fine.
So be getting the bad news about Zora.
Bad too. I guess mirror after. Yeah, if you do this, I guess you mirror after dig game. You check Magic Bat,
and then just go to the portal instead of saving and quitting Stank. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's fine. And like I said, Tam's not looking to skip any of this stuff anyway. He's already got feeling pretty good about the things that he didn't do that are very reasonable for his opponent to have done. Like, it's not a guarantee that his opponent has checked Eastern Palace, even though we know that Spleebie has. It's not a guarantee that his opponent did Green Pendant Lamo, even though we know Spleebie has. Tam will probably route with that knowledge of it's likely I'm ahead of my opponent right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think that going to Bombos is not exactly a commitment to being conservative, but certainly an indication that Tam wants to be conservative for at least for a while.
If anything, the early Bombos actually makes it just a little easier to not get suckered in by the whole Smith stuff, in my opinion. Which is always
Maybe
nice.
they'll get lucky and not find Mitts for a while anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, how many times are Mitts just, you know, sitting in Village of Outcasts or Thieves Town in this kind of seed, and you just get suckered into doing everything post-Mitts that's right next to you, so... you know, depending on what else he finds, he may be able to get away from that.
Yeah. Is Postmates your new food delivery service competing with Postmates?
That's the Hyrulean, yeah. It was a startup a couple SGLs ago. Are we gonna get the hover from Spleebie? Ooh.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he can definitely do this hover.
If you get
Famous
this,
for
you
it.
get a big key and a small key, I think.
I guess this could be a pretty big deal if there's something important in the big chest.
Let's see the silver arrows in the big chest, so all the progressive bow nerds can go crazy.
Love the menu when you're already on the item you want to be on, because you're like, oh, I forgot to quick slap. Oh my god, I was already on it. Yeah, this has a small chance of being a really big deal. And a much bigger chance of just being another small notch against Spleebie. Although,
I mean, if nothing else, it's an impressive as hell hover. Like, that is not
it
an
really
easy
is,
hover
yeah.
to do.
I can't do any hovers really, but I especially can't do that one. The trick to hovering is, I think you have to cheat to do it.
Yeah, this is actually a potentially, like, this could be a game-winning chest, honestly. I mean, with it being Pendant Pod, there's almost no chance Tam is coming back here.
Tam is last locationing this, more or less.
Yeah.
So if it's, you know, Ice Rod or something, then Spleebie's going to be suddenly in really good shape. Are we bomb jumping? Alright. Spleebie forgot about the mechanics of pit dashes. Who amongst us does not do that occasionally?
3 whole bombs.
Well... Oh, Tam did check the Dark Maze chest, yeah. Alright, so... Tam just, Still very ahead here. We'll see what Spleebie's route looks like after this. He'll probably not do Bombos, right? You gotta feel at this point, you've gotten everything as Spleebie. You gotta feel like maybe I need to make some plays, right?
Yeah, maybe. I would say... Oh, I think Spleebie was headed towards Helmasaur before he realized he can't get there. Nice fight with the hammer from Tam there. That's not an easy fight with the hammer.
That's not. I would have. Yeah, I would have just used the sword.
Yeah, I just go with spins. Spleebie's going to start out, since he already save and quit and ended up on the pyramid, he's going to run over to Hype Cave. I think it's fine starting Hype Cave, even if you think you're trying to push it. Like, you can Hype Cave, save and quit here if you're really thinking like, man, I got to save some time somewhere. And you could even, what I expected Tam to do, honestly, I expected the Bombos, save and quit, Skullwoods, and then make a decision about the other stuff once you actually get down there.
Yeah.
Check from Tam, nothing on there.
Also, there was nothing in South Dark World, so if Spleebie just goes straight to the village, might save a little bit of time, although he'll probably just spend it again later, realistically.
I think that there was... We'll just file this away for, you know, an hour from now. I think there was the last item in pod on Helmasaur.
Yes, Clear Mouse doing her job as tracker and remembering all the stuff that we're not smart enough to pay attention to. I lost to Spleebie in my last round of this tournament. He eliminated me from this in large part due to the last item in Pod being on Helmasaur and being the Ice Rod.
So it's in the back of his mind.
maybe.
Spleebie has actually had quite the journey through the losers bracket in this tournament. This is his fifth match of SGL so far. He has been running rampant through the lower bracket.
Spleebie following in Tam's footsteps. Gonna find nothing, and then I guess check Skullwoods and Thieves Town. Did Tam just skip Thieves Town? I don't think we saw any Thieves Town, right?
Tam has not been in there yet. He's finished up Skullwoods. He's checking the Cape Ledge.
So why would you do that in this order?
World.
It's a crystal. You can clear it.
He doesn't have to since he's done South Dark World. But if he ends up getting mitts out of Village of Outcasts, Thieves Down, then at least he's already done this stuff. He doesn't have to like double back. You're right. Since he hasn't done the South Dark World stuff already, he can just do Thieves Down into these checks if he wants to.
Well, there's Tempered Sword. That's nice.
This is a good example of kind of what we were talking about before, where, you know, Tam made some pretty aggressive plays in, you know, pre-Dark World, and he's feeling pretty good about banking that time, and now he's not approaching skips on any of this early Dark World stuff. You see him running up here to check these out of the way King's Tomb, Graveyard Ledge stuff.
Yeah, this is very thorough doing North Dark World. When you can just do Thieves. Aren't you supposed to always be clearing crystal dungeons or whatever? A, B, C, C, D or whatever?
Something like that, yeah. Yes, if it was 2017 and we were playing this game, Tam would have gone straight from Skullwoods to Thieves Town. That's what we all did back then. But we didn't know what we were doing, so...
But it would have worked!
A better way has been found.
I don't know. I'm not sold.
He definitely could have. I mean, one of the reasons I think that you do all the southern stuff before you do that is to give yourself that option. Like, okay, I'm going to do these southern checks first, then I'm going to go Skullwoods and Thieves Town and figure out if I want to go do the North Dark World checks. I think that's totally fair.
This seed is being really stingy with items. They're coming at a very slow drip. Where is all our stuff? I guess you could do East Death Mountain since we got the hammer. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that hammer has opened up a lot of stuff.
Well, there's Flippers.
Flippers, which opens up checks
what,
you do not want to do.
Front of Skull? Or Swamp, I mean.
Checks that you do not want to do right now. That's what they open up.
Well... Yeah, well, Ice Palace will be pretty slow.
But Tam's gonna clear out Thieves Town and then make a decision. If he finds nothing else in here, then I assume East Death Mountain is his next stop. If he finds the mitts, he will feel pretty bad, but he'll probably do the Smith stuff first.
You think so? Well, you at least... Yeah, I guess so. Did they, check, Bat? We didn't see a Bat check, right? I guess hoping to combo that with Smiths later.
I think Tam did do that on his way up to the portal, if I'm not mistaken. He mirrored outside the library, he walked up, he checked Magic Bat, and then he continued onto the portal before Skullwoods.
Spleebie
did not, notably, so he will do his Magic Bat after Thieves Town, likely.
Oh, man, Hammer Moth. I know it does more damage than the sword slashes, but y'all, it's so much easier to just use the sword.
I have, like... I'd like to think I have a pretty good understanding of when Moth is at the top of the screen, whether my slash damaged him or not.
You have a very good Moth fight.
I have no idea any of those hammer hits if they were doing damage, because Moth is at the bottom of the screen, and who the heck has experience with Moth at the bottom of the screen?
Yeah, no.
Pretty good fight from Spleebie, though. Like, I can't do it that well.
No, it's totally good,
I don't even take the hammer out in those fights, so very nicely done from both of them on their Moth fights.
Yeah, he stayed very safe. Took a few, hits that didn't count, but that's not that big a deal. The bug was dead at the end.
Like the knowledge in the back of your head that you have 2 fairies. I'm pretty sure Spleebie has 2 fairies. You can be as aggressive as you want.
That's true. You also, of course, have 8 hearts blue mail.
Yeah,
is quite a lot of toughness.
But even just the knowledge that you have, like, hey, if I screw up, I've got these fairies. That makes you play better because now you're not even worried about screwing up.
Are we gonna find something good here in Thieves Town? Or are we going to be consigned to the mountain?
Yeah, it's kind of boring, I guess, if it's just going to be, mitts on the mountain, or like mitts and hookshot, and then we're just searching for a bow and a cane or something like that.
If mitts are on the mountain,
Blue has to show up too, I guess. But
yeah, if mitts are on the mountain, all the Dark World mountain gets opened up, which is kind of interesting. If they're not, we have to start doing crap like Caneless Ice Palace, which is frustrating.
The issue, did Spleebie realize he has an item still in here? I guess he did. Yes. Okay. Spleebie going back for the second item.
Oh man, just leave it at this point. Just cross your fingers.
The only problem from a race perspective, for us, I suppose, and chat too, is it's looking like this is just kind of play out on rails for a little while. Like, there's nothing here in Thieves Town. We're gonna go up the mountain. We're gonna probably find mitts. Maybe another item that lets us do some dungeons. Like, if Hookshot ends up there, then great, we're coming down and doing Swamp Palace. And we might get a little on rails here for both players for a little while.
I think you'd have to be really a gambler to do anything but the stuff that's on rails right now.
Yeah, Spleebie's even gonna go over here. It looks like he's gonna do the North Dark World stuff as well. And I don't think any of this is terrible play from Spleebie either. He has not.
No.
Oh, okay, he may not be doing that. He's saying, all right, if I.
No,
he just didn't deal with the birds. That's also fine.
I'm totally reasonable. Those birds are terrible. Tam heading to the mountain before Ice and Swamp, which is basically just correct. You could really go nuts and be like, all right, well, no one else is going to go into Ice. Maybe I'll just win on that, but I don't think you should do that in this position.
The only way we're getting into Ice is if we glitch in there right now, so it's doubly a good move for Tam.
Why is that?
To go in there.
We don't have mitts. Oh. All right.
I mean, he can get in.
Fine.
But,
there's so many ways into
illegal.
Ice. You don't need the mitts.
Yes, it would be illegal for him to go in there right now, but he could get in there. So technically true.
Yeah, you could go to Swamp, but that's even worse.
Yeah, we're not going to Swamp before we do Death Mountain, so...
No way.
And it's very likely whatever item we find up here just immediately gets followed too, so... We might end up on kind of a monorail for a little bit, as far as the race is concerned. Which is bad news for Spleebie, but it's great news for Tam.
It is, yeah, and Spleebie keeps taking these, like, very reasonable sort of mainline plays that are just getting him farther and farther behind. Or not getting him farther behind, but keeping him the same amount of behind instead of giving him a chance to shake things up and get lucky.
Yeah. And the amount of behind that he needs, it's not an execution disadvantage or anything like that. It's
no, it's like what
he needs to skip some areas that Tam does, whole areas, not single checks or anything like that. Because, like I said, there's not really a scenario where Tam is going to go back and do the things that Spleebie has already done.
Right. Except for if there's something on Helmasaur. No, that's actually worse for Spleebie. Yeah. No, never mind. Because there's less stuff left there for Spleebie. No, I don't know.
If it's Helmasaur, then both players will be last located. I think if it's Helmasaur.
If you're Tam and the last item ends up being on Helmasaur, do you go to You go to Desert
Yeah,
Palace
no,
and clear it first, right?
No,
Before
probably
that.
Tam would probably get to Helmasaur before Spleebie would in that situation. So yeah, it's even worse for Spleebie. He can't even fall back on that as an option. Right, at that theoretical point, I think Tam would be saying, "All right, well, if it's green pendant,
I lost 46 minutes ago. Yeah.
So.
Sorry.
Did Spleebie just chest turn the magic bat?
Oh my god, love it.
Stop the race. We have a winner.
So I didn't see where, but we have our gold gloves now. From the mountain.
Up here on the mountain. Okay. I guess they were spiral caves, since that's the only thing that Tam did. I guess he was Paradox. He was in Paradox.
Yeah, he was in Paradox.
I was so mesmerized by the magic bat turn. It's gonna take me a few minutes to reboot, so.
So I assume we just do all the obvious stuff up here. Is Tam a hoverer? Do you know? Are we gonna see a hookshot cave clear?
I have no idea.
Okay, I guess some terrible hookshot location and something in hookshot cave might help Spleebie. I know that he's a big hoverer.
Spleebie got an amazing deboost from that ghost after pulling the grate. The ghost put him right in the doorway to Thievstown.
Amazing.
So,
did he get Lonk? He should have gotten Lonk.
I don't think it was quite that good, but not quite the time save that Spleebie's going to need. But hey, every little bit counts.
Did someone? It looks like our tracker has marked Quake for Turtle Rock on the tracker, so not going to be a medallion hunt for Turtle Rock.
Good news.
Unless I'm misreading the tracker, but I think that's what that says.
It does look like Quake is marked. I agree.
Nice. I do not know how trackers read things like that fast. There was like 1 pixel of it on screen for 1 frame.
Clearmouse has got her CSI goggles out, and Tam is going to show us an out of logic spike cave check. He does have 2 fairies, but this is not in logic without the cane or the cape. Not
I assume
would stop a runner from checking.
You're in favor of this since you're a big fan of Spike Cave.
I'm in favor of all of the routing that Tam is doing. He's read it very well. The time he saved in Light World, unless he's already dead, which why would you route based on if I'm already dead? The time he saved in Light World is enough that he can be very thorough and not leave something in a location that would give his opponent, who may have done all of those things, like Spleebie has, an out. So just very, I assume this is what we're going to see from Tam for much of the rest of the seed, is just, I'm going to get the items, I'm going to be very thorough, I'm going to follow the items directly to where they lead, which is what he's doing now. A little surprised that he didn't fill up on hearts before he ran over here, but he does have another fairy.
We're seeing ice now. I think this is good.
So to your point, we will probably see the hover from Spleebie when he gets to Dark Death Mountain. And there are some item layouts where he could find something in there that would help him.
What could he find? Flute, I guess? Ice Rod doesn't help unless Tam somehow gets baited into a partial TR dip after already leaving the area once.
What will help is
unlikely.
If Spleebie finds Tam's Go Mode item in Hookshot Cave, it would mean that Spleebie likely gets to Go Mode Swamp, while Tam would clear out Swamp before heading back up there. So whatever's up there, if that ends up being Tam's Go Mode, that would be the best case for Spleebie.
Right. Probably still not enough unless some other stuff breaks his way, but I think that that's probably what you're looking at if you're hoping to see a Spleebie return.
Yeah, I mean, they're missing enough items where, there still are plenty of layouts where Spleebie is not dead.
Yeah, we're
not just 1 item away or anything like that, so...
No, there has been nowhere that these players have gone that have given them more than 1 useful item since the escape. We got gloves and lamp in the escape, I think, and then it's just been this incredibly slow drip of useful stuff. Tam showing off that without beams, conveyor room is the worst room.
Cam showing off conveyor room like the first time on a rando stream since 2019.
Yeah. Still remembers his bomb jump though.
It's like
Love
riding
to
a
see
bike.
it. Gonna show off Penguin lineup, another one of the worst rooms in the game. I really love Ice Palace.
Getting a little low on hearts, but does have another fairy.
Does have
Would
a fairy,
love
yeah.
to save that fairy for Cold Stare, just in case.
Very likely that they'll powder right here.
Look at that.
Excellent. Excellent.
Remembers to pull the tongue statue.
Unbelievable.
There's some gaming going on. Spleebie is gonna check Hobo.
Did Spleebie not check Hobo earlier?
Spleebie save and quit after looking at the Zora Ledge item.
Yeah.
Which I didn't remember until he walked over here, so this makes some sense before you go up the mountain. If you leave your mitts right here or something like that, that would feel pretty stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, it would feel pretty stupid to begin with, I guess, if you left your mitts there, because that would have let you not do Aga, so...
Tam with the excellent stair clip. Love it. Huge fan.
Right side stair clip. Oh boy. Not even taking damage. I've never seen the bomb jump set up like this. Okay.
That explains why.
It probably does work.
I'm sure. I have no idea how to do that.
Maybe I jinxed him.
Vortex in chat pointing out that Cold Stare is now either hook or cane locked.
Vortex,
presumably because of
Vortex,
facts
don't
about
don't
key
pretend
logic.
no key logic in Ice Palace. Nobody does.
I
Just because
trust
nobody can
Vortex.
call you on it doesn't mean you know it.
Imagine having a favorite Ice Palace key layout.
My favorite Ice Palace key layout is the one where I don't pay attention to the keys, and that's every Ice Palace.
Right. Spleebie gonna get his mitts in a second, and then I guess... Okay, so Spleebie can get lucky here with something big in Hookshot Cave. If he hovers it, which I very much expect him to hover it, and there's something important there, and Hookshot is somewhere gross for Tam, or something along those lines, then he could potentially luck out into something big happening here.
Yeah, if something is here, it's nice, and we will have to wait and see exactly how nice it is.
Right. But it's not like Tam is never coming back to Hookshot Cave.
Right. Right. I think in a best case scenario world, you would be talking about, like I said, whatever Spleebie could find there might save him a clear of Swamp versus Tam, which is probably, like you said, not quite enough at this point to save him, but would go a long way towards evening it out.
Right.
Just a little too early on that last slash, but we've got blue mail, so we're still alive. Nothing here in Ice Palace, though.
I have heard that a key on Cold Stare implies a cane lock. I cannot vouch for this information personally.
Possible. Not that it matters at this point at all. But yes.
So I believe Tam found absolutely nothing in Ice Palace.
Yeah, that was an empty Ice Palace.
And now has to decide between Smith's Chain and Front of Swamp. Is there anything else we can do? The only thing we've got since the last time we decided where to go is mid.
Yeah, it would be, yes. Front of Swamp, and is that where he's going?
Yeah. Well, let's see. Swamp has 6 items, 4 of which are in the back.
I'm a little surprised if he's going Swamp before Smith's, with the way he's routed this Dark World so far.
And yet,
yeah, this is actually very interesting.
Well, we'll see what they find here.
Not that Smith's chain is like very like wonderful. Nobody
Smith's
really ever
chain,
rushes off to do that, but
yeah. Especially since he's already checked Stumpy and K45 and stuff, so you can't like really do anything with it.
he has remained firmly in meta the entirety of his Dark World route until this moment. Is the only reason it's really significant.
There's Cane of Burna, which puts Spike Caves nothing in logic.
Yeah, Spleebie really would like this to be something nice. Very nice hovers, but not meant to be.
Yeah, Spleebie is a very good hoverer.
At best, we're gonna save an extra Death Mountain climb on Tam.
I don't think that that's happening.
And that's not as significant as, say, full clearing a dungeon versus not full clearing a dungeon, which is what was on the table potentially.
Yeah. So
he's gonna get a slightly faster Spike Cave check if he takes out his cane, which he's not doing because he's probably thinking about going to Ice Palace right after this. And he needs his magic.
Oh my god. Planning ahead on magic use. Not smart enough for that.
Ironically, without doing Icebreaker, we need less magic to get through Ice Palace. He's got a little bit less than half.
That's not enough.
Not be enough without some magic drops, and I don't think anything in Ice Palace is actually dropping magic.
I have not paid any attention to prize packs.
I know the Pengators didn't. And
there's
hey,
a hook
shot in Swamp Palace is...
Spleebie heading to Smith's ahead of Ice. I guess if it's the red game, that saves him some time, but...
Very tough to recover from now.
Tam taking the never-before-seen route through Swamp Lobby.
I think it was probably just shock about the hook shot. Well, I got the hook shot.
Yeah, just thinking about
I guess I'm doing
else.
left side now. Wow. All right. Well, so there could still be an item here on Smith's that Tam might not get for a while, but the much higher likelihood is that Tam never has to do the Smith's also on top of the other things he hasn't had to do.
Well, it's not that high likelihood. We're still missing Ice Rod and Flute and Red Cane. There's a lot, and Bow. There's still so much missing after the hook shot.
Yeah, but if any one of them is here in Swamp Palace, it's looking pretty good for whatever Tam wants to do.
It still looks really good for Tam, but it's just like there's a lot of ways that Smiths could have a required item.
Yeah, it is strange that we're this far in and we're still missing a decent chunk of items.
We're over an hour in. We're like 4 items, possibly 5 items for Go mode. That's absurd. There's Cape. Okay, that's not very helpful.
Cape for Spleebie.
There's Flute. All right.
Left side, also left side.
All right, Tam. Do you think Tam is feeling good about this?
Tam is feeling fantastic about this.
I can see a smile.
At no point has Tam done anything that you would feel is a waste of anything.
Yeah, there's no way you're like, oh man, I could have gone here before Ice Palace. Everyone's going Ice Palace first.
There are not many reasonable routes that would be ahead of Tam at this point, and his route has been very reasonable. He has not done anything too. The biggest risk he took was the green pendant skip, leaving 2 items on Landmo.
He went to Aga pretty aggressively. He skipped green pendant and Eastern, and then just got completely paid off for it.
Spleebie's trip to the Smiths has come up empty, by the way.
Yeah. I guess Tam doesn't know yet that there's nothing required in Eastern, but it hasn't slowed him down. So even if Red Cane were in the front of Eastern or something like that, it still wouldn't even feel that bad for him.
Spleebie is taking a trip. taking a trip somewhere.
King's 2?
No, yes.
Already did
Didn't
King's
he
2.
already do that? We're getting potions for Ice Palace, I suppose? Alright, we're getting potions for Ice Palace. That was very confusing. Tam has killed Argus.
That's fine, I guess.
His flute.
Are we going back in for the big chest? I wasn't counting items. There might not be on anything on it.
If there's an item, he's going back in. There's no way you come in here, you find Hookshot, and you don't get all the rest of the chests. You also found a flute on the left side. You literally have nothing to lose by going back in if there's an item there. And he's going back. It would be almost random malpractice to have gotten Hookshot out of here and got the flute from the left side and not go back in for the big chest.
How many things can be in one swamp? And then I guess they're going straight to, well, activate the flute and then
activate flute. He'll check the shed. He'll
Mire, right?
check checkerboard if there is
Is Tam running to? They're running.
I guess this is probably faster. This is probably fine.
I'm sure it's. I mean, it's
probably
fine.
Should have mirrored.
I don't.
I would have mirrored outside swamp and then just done the run. But
I feel like mirror and save and quit's still gonna be faster. Well, not if you want to grab the frog.
Okay, he's gonna clean up. That's actually fantastic because he knows how good of a play he just made.
Yeah. Tam
and he knows that even if his opponent does it, his opponent might skip left side and leave the flute. Like it's all upside. He can flute, turn in purple chest. Like this is nothing but upside for Tam to clean this up. In a big race, a qualifier, you probably wouldn't route it like this, but in a 1v1, it's actually 100% the correct play.
There's 0 chance Spleebie skips left side swamp, right?
No, it's actually a great chance that Spleebie skips left side swamp.
Spleebie finally misses a hover. Well, but gets it really fast on the second try.
It is hovering itself. I think the number of people who can do hovering these days in Rando, it's not the hardest trick in the world. Hovering fast, the way Spleebie does it, is extremely difficult. And he's pulled off a couple difficult hovers as well, like the hover in pod. Those are not standard hovers; those are very difficult as well. So very, very, very impressive from him.
Yeah, very confident and very fast at it. Just walks off the ledge. You know, some players need to get it started, or it takes a few tries, even if they can do it. Spleebie just takes a dive and
sometimes even just the visual of Link grabbing the wall there a couple times can throw you off your groove.
It looks pretty funny, yeah.
So we're gonna get a purple chest turn in. It won't be anything. He'll flute over to Mire, counting something on his hands right now. I'm not sure what he's counting. We know that Spleebie's ice adventure will turn up nothing, at which point I think he will be left with only the Swamp Palace dive. And I think that there's I mean, I guess you're right. He actually can't skip left side swamp because he's gonna, even if he goes to Argus, he won't have anything left after the hookshot because he's already done hookshot cave.
He didn't do Smith's Chain, right?
Spleebie did.
Yeah. Oh, he did. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so then it's over. There's nothing but left side swamp. Not gonna go for the hookshot room, hover, and swamp. I don't think it would be like fast or anything, but it would be kind of cool. There's the ice rod and Mire shed. That doesn't matter at all.
Nope. Both players will get that. No big
for
deal.
Sure, 100%. Did we see
I don't think he's checked the medallion yet. No, I don't think so.
Oh, it is Bombus. Oh no. And there's Red Cane. Wow, what a Mire area.
Well, I have a feeling that our next stop will be Turtle Rock.
Oh, really? What makes you feel that?
I don't know. It's just, when you've played a lot of these seeds, you know, you've got kind of a sixth sense to know where you should go next.
I mean, this is great, though. Everything is just working out perfectly for Tam. I mean, you get those items and you're like, oh, all right, so an absolutely 100% forced TR.
Yeah. And just, it's got to feel so good. It's actually very rare that you can, and maybe he doesn't feel 100% confident. I don't know if anybody would ever feel 100% confident.
You gotta be thinking like, oh, well, of course Bombos is going to be on Landmo, and then I'm never going to find it.
Yeah, that's true too. He's not 100% confident, but he's feeling very good about like what he's done so far. If he can get away with, did Spleebie not buy a potion?
Spleebie
Also,
also
potion and drank it. Did he not buy a spare potion?
Spleebie is letting me down because he should go Powder the Fairy and Fire Rod dupe.
Well, he should just get a full magic drop from the last enemy after he almost had full magic anyway.
You're right. Sorry, I should have thought of that. Spleebie going for a double spin, but does not quite get that second spin off correctly. That's a very difficult strat.
Also, I feel like
Good cleanup though.
The lag in Rando.
It is different.
If you're not used to those boss fights that are very precise, and you're using, you know, like the practice hack to practice them, and then you try to pull out the strat in Rando, it's just slightly off, and sometimes just a couple frames of lag is enough to put you off of those very precise boss fights. Tam is in Turtle Rock. It's virtually guaranteed that we're going to have.
Yeah. We're gonna find Bo in here and just
or both of them up here.
Or both. Yeah. Yep. There's the Bo.
There's one.
I'm glad we got that sentence out in time.
Yes.
Would not be at all surprised to find Bombos in here too, because what does the Bow unlock? Armos. What's on? Is there even an item on Armos? I think there was.
I actually
I'm not sure though.
I don't want us to speak until Clear Mouse says, so I'll wait for Clear Mouse.
There's
I know that Helmasaur has an item, but even like we discussed, that's not an out for Spleebie either.
No.
I don't actually see any location in the game that isn't out for Spleebie anymore.
I think it's basically over.
Short of disastrous.
What can you do? Quadrant glitch, Moldorm 2?
Yeah.
Is
Did
that
they
enough?
patch that? Oh no, they didn't patch that. They patched it and patched it back in because their fix didn't work. So yes, you could quadrant glitch, and I think Tam is ahead of enough to quadrant glitch Moldorm 2 once.
Maybe.
So,
it might be that far ahead, yeah.
Yeah, he has got a sizable lead, and really not like Spleebie has made egregious mistakes. This is just sometimes how the sequencing works.
No, he opted to resist the call of Aga, and Tam opted to gamble a little bit and ended up getting funneled into Aga, and then they had to do Aga, and so all of that time that Spleebie spent resisting the siren call was just 100% wasted, and that is most of the difference.
Tam's Dark World has just been very well played, though. I like, this is not the fastest time that you could get on the seed, but he's not trying for the fastest time. He knew he was in a good spot after his Light World. I mean, I still doesn't know. Like you said, it could still be Bombos in Desert,
right?
On Landmo or something like that. It's just he has done a very good job of approximating where his opponent is. You can tell. I think it's pretty obvious from his playstyle at first, and then his change of playstyle once he landed in Dark World, that he was aware, hey, this is really good for me. Let's not
sick
screw it up.
Double Fire Rod. That's awesome. Love that.
Is that the God RNG for Rando?
I guess if you're going south. But yeah, no, you're definitely right. Tam was taking some risks and then got paid off for the first few risks they took, and then stopped taking risks and just riding it to the bank.
Tam, by the way, is like one of the most experienced rando racers of the last 2 years. He's got over 400 ladder matches played.
Holy crap.
So Tam
has, of course.
Tam has seen it. If it's in rando, he has experienced it. So you tend to have played hundreds of seeds, hundreds of races in order to kind of have a tuned sense of where you are versus the average opponent. And Tam is showing how valuable that information can be. Even though it doesn't look like there would be any locations that he could have opted to skip that would have ruined him, he's gone out of his way to make sure that even if there were things in those locations, that he would have gotten them.
Right. Yeah, the routing has been very good. I mean, I don't know. I'm a little bit bullshitting. I'm not good at rando, but everything has seemed very, very reasonable, very smart to me. I actually think that Spleebie's routing has also been perfectly good.
It's pretty rare, honestly. Most rando races are not close, right? Like there are very, very few rando races that are decided even within 5 minutes, typically. You know, if you crunch the numbers, it's probably you're probably looking at against two reasonable opponents, like I don't know, average time of 8 or 9 minutes in a rando race. So they're not going to be close, and it's not because the players mess up. It's just that's the way sequencing works. It's the way the RNG lays out. Sometimes it's the one move can, you know, save you 5 seconds, and one move can save you 5 minutes. And
if you have players of equal skill play a bunch of races together, most of the races are, you know, the outcome will be 5-5, and each race will be +3, -6. So, yeah, no, it's been good to watch though. And I mean, there's plenty still to come. I just there's no way for Spleebie left. Tam's in go mode now and has cleared more stuff. So it's, and Tam can, you know, he can press the buttons. There's no real execution gap. Even if Spleebie is a better execution player, which I'm not at all sure is true, it's not by this much. There's so little left that can go wrong.
There's not been anything that I've noticed from Tam's execution that you would say, boy, he really needs to work on that. He's no,
it's all been very clean.
He's one of the scarier runners that have made it this far in the tournament, and he's put together a very good performance. Honestly, the only thing that you even could quote, you know, like maybe that green pendant landmo skip is a little too spicy, but it's also like he saves a lot of time by doing it. Like you saw how far ahead he was out of the light world.
Right.
I don't think the Eastern Palace, you know, Aga before Eastern Palace is fairly common, I would say. So really the only time he stepped out of meta was with Desert, and it was at least with the promise of a huge amount of time save that he did it. So
right.
It's not like he did it to save, you know, 30 seconds or something like that.
No, it was probably 2 minutes, and then Spleebie also actually turned in the green pendant before going to Aga, I believe, which is another bunch of time.
Yeah, not to mention, like, that green pendant pulls you over to Eastern Palace.
It sure does.
You know, if it's blue pendant Desert Palace, and Spleebie goes over there and it's nothing, and there's nothing in Desert, and he's looking at choosing between Eastern Palace and Aga, you know, does he make the same decision? Maybe, but maybe not.
Yeah. So Tamir's just going to clean up EP, and then Meyer, I guess it doesn't matter what order you do these in, so I guess finding silvers in Eastern is better than finding them in Meyer.
I guess technically,
but who cares, right? I mean, I assume Tam can do Tempered, Cape, Burna, Blue Mail, Two Fairy, Vitreous. So yeah, I think it's just really whatever.
I would have done the I would have done Meyer first, just so that you can refresh your arrows here in Eastern a little bit.
Oh, see, yeah, that's the kind of thing that I just do not think about.
But you're not leaving here with many arrows anyway. Like, even if you did that, you leave here with 12, which is still one too few. But
if you do, yeah, that's right.
But like you said, if you
unless you do the 17 arrow strat.
No,
shoutouts to Jake.
Let's be realistic. If you have to fight Ice Armos in Rando, you're finding 10 arrows before you get there. Like, there's going to be a chest in GT that has 10 arrows, so it's
that's
not
for
really
sure
a concern. Spleebie got his flute out of the last location available to him. He is activating it. Probably not feeling terrific, even though, like we've said, he hasn't really done anything too unreasonable.
No, he's gonna do the obvious stuff here, and then find out what the world is like. The cruelness of the world today.
When you're racing rando, it doesn't matter how experienced or whatever. It's very easy to just picture, okay, well, I've done a lot, and my opponent probably hasn't done a lot, and so I'm going to lose. And sometimes you're right about that, and sometimes you're wrong. But if you had to ask Spleebie right now, I'm sure he would think, all right, it's a 20%
I think that both players
10% chance that I'm ahead right now. Not good.
I think that both players have to be pretty aware of what their position looks like.
Yeah, Tam's got to feel amazing. There's no way Tam doesn't feel amazing.
For sure.
You can't. What would he even regret? Like, I don't even know what there is for him to regret at this point.
No. And Spleebie has to keep finding these items and be like, oh my god, I spent so much time doing pendants. Clinical almost kill.
Critical mistake of catching that crystal like a pendant, though.
It's impossible to remember.
We all do it.
Good news is that crystal catches are fake, so you don't have to feel bad.
Do they even matter in rando? I actually have no idea.
In rando, maybe they literally are. I don't know.
Just gotta avoid those bad habits, though. Oh, the bird gets him. That's why he was avoiding birds before. Alright, no sword beams, but no problem.
No. I assume that Tam is perfectly comfortable doing Fire Rod Mire 2.
Is Bow Mire 2 even really a thing? I don't think so.
Bow Mire 2 is kind of fun, but it's definitely a lot less easy than Fire Rod. Okay, Hookshot Mire 2 I do not feel as sanguine about. Okay, we made it work though.
We got
shout out to Tam.
Though.
I guess that's true, Vortex.
No, you have just enough. You have just enough magic. Don't shoot the fire out any extra times. But...
You have to use lamp for the pre-compass room or whatever. Pre-map room, I don't know which one it is. I think it's compass. But it's probably faster to use the hookshot once and save a fire rod shot. I don't know. I don't know. I'm probably gonna test it now that I'm thinking about it, and then forget before it comes up in a rando. Not getting the maximally lucky Mire, but that's fine.
Even if he dies here, I think he still has a fairy left. Spleebie threw away his fairies for potions, so he does not have any fairies left.
Oh, heck yeah. I see a lot of people do different strats in that room, but I'm a big fan of poke dashing those tiles.
As long as you were fast enough getting out of that room the first time, the tiles should be in a spot where you can get both of them with one poke.
Yeah.
If you were too slow lighting the torches, then they'll be split up a bit, and you will get hit if you don't do it. Poke dash. But I assume this is... Actually, Tam probably hasn't done the right side. He's just being... It literally doesn't make a difference what route he takes, and he probably knows it.
Did he find a key? I learned from a Spleebie race that I watched a few weeks ago that if there's a small key in compass chest, there's always a big key in cutscene chest.
I don't know if he did, but yes, that is a thing for whatever reason. There's a couple places like that in the game. Oh, there was a giveaway key. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I know Spleebie knows about that one because he forgot about it in a race that cost him maybe the race. And everyone mentioned it every time he showed up in chat for the next like 2 weeks. Hey, Spleebie, feels bad about that key, huh?
Is one of those
I'm pretty sure he knows about it now.
completely unintuitive things, because unless you pull apart the randomizer logic, it's not even something that would make any sense. I still don't even really understand why it's like that. But
you can. Vortex is trying to explain. It's because something to do with the way the big key lets you waste a key. I don't know. I can sometimes work through the logic. Like one time I had to figure out why blind can't have a single key, and that's the easiest dungeon to do it with. But it always does make sense in the end when someone explains it to you, but it takes a while.
Very nice quick kill here on Viddy.
Yep, excellent. Oh, isn't there some meme that we're supposed to talk about now?
We haven't talked about any memes yet?
Well, just, a new one is coming up soon.
Yeah, meme it up, guys. Type a random number in chat.
Yeah, how many small keys will Tam have when starting the climb?
There's probably a mathematically correct answer, but I'll go with 3.
So, what is there to talk about now? What are we gonna do in GT? We're gonna check all the chests in the basement. Do you have a favorite? I know you have a favorite GT route.
Oh yes, we are Stalvos to Compass Room here. I do not know what Tam does, but hopefully it's Stalvos to Compass Room, so I can talk about how good it is.
I'm a fan of Hope Room to full left, personally. For one of the reasons I'm a fan of that is that I don't know how to do that terrible room with the mummies.
It is very difficult. It sucks. It's a bad room.
It sucks, yeah.
Where is Spleebie gonna be at when Tam is finishing up? I don't know if will Spleebie even be getting in GT. He's got to finish T-Rock here.
Backdoor strats on Try Next. Love that.
Yeah, nice backdoor with the quick swap. Sometimes a little tricky.
No double pokes though. It's okay.
I thought we already talked about the memes.
Hey, it's not a meme. It saves 16 frames, okay? Tam is making the wise decision of going to Hope Room. Find silvers for his trouble.
Ah, but no small key.
Well, that's good because he didn't get sucked into going to the terrible room, right?
Depends how much of Ganon's Terror you want to see. It'll be actually interesting, I think, to ask Tam like how comfortable he was feeling, because it's so easy for us to say it. Like in any race, it's so easy for you to look at the person who's multiple minutes ahead and say, "Oh yeah, it must be feel really comfortable. It's been such a nice, comfy race." But I truly think this is like one of those rare. Hey, there's the big key.
What chest was that? 6, 7, something like that? 1, 2, 3. I think 6. All right, whoever guessed 6, if anybody did, congratulations.
Correct.
You are the biggest beamer.
Way to guess. Hey, he's got 3 small keys though. I was right about that.
Oh, nice. Good work.
Also, my route misses silvers, so
that's true. But Hope Room costs what? 8 seconds. Silvers only save like 35. You know, it breaks even.
And guess what? The silvers fight is terrible. So
I guess. I don't know. I think that it's fun to do in rando every once in a while. It's not nearly as fun as tempered, but it's nice to do occasionally.
I'll just say I embarrassed myself way more doing Silver's Ganon than Silverless Ganon.
I think we can all agree that Master Sword Silvers is the most ridiculous fight. It is impossible to turn Ganon blue with the Master Sword.
Yeah, you just start doing Silverless, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to do this, and you do Silverless again. You're like, wait, why isn't this working?
Do that.
One thing I did notice is that both of these runners in Eastern Palace used the bow to do the invisible Stalfos room, but they did it in a way that they shot 3 arrows that I've never seen before, and then both of them did it in this, so I guess it's a thing that
I saw that for the first time recently. I want to say maybe Zelga. So I guess it's the hot new thing. I don't know if it's fast, but
imagine knowing rando strats, I guess. Like, learning new strats in rando. What a world.
Like for example, I know that there's this really hot new tech that I was wondering if you were looking into learning of bomb diver down.
It is hot off the presses, right? It's the thing that everyone's learning right now. Yeah, maybe one day. I still don't know how to do like any of the Ancilla stuff. 6 arrows and 2 bombs. I can do that one. I don't know the rest of the Ancilla fake flipper stuff either.
Yeah.
There was just a moment in time where I said that is enough Link to the Past learning for me, and I haven't progressed past that point yet. It's been a very nice GT here for Tam. He did pick up a little extra arrows post Landmo, just so that he would have enough.
Smart.
Ganon.
It's fun to see with quick swap players do different stuff in the gauntlet. So Tam was using their fire rod in the gauntlet a little bit, which makes tracking down those Stalfos a lot easier. And with Silvers, you have tons of magic because you don't need fire rod for Landmo, so it's pretty nice.
Spleebie probably won't even matter because I doubt he's even going to get to that point, but he is at 6 arrows headed into Mire. So he did not fill up on arrows before Armos. Like I said, I think Tam will have killed Ganon before Spleebie kills Vidi, so
I think so.
That's something that's gonna matter, but
this is our last chance to see more rando. I think is nope, we did not get a quadrant clutch. All right.
It was actually a really good fight on not great Moldom RNG there for Tam. He did not have a very big window to get that spin in and got it.
Yeah. That's a surprisingly tricky fight. I guess probably not surprising to anybody who's ever tried to do it, but there's a lot more going on there than it sometimes looks like. This fight, on the other hand, is famously very easy.
Yes. 1 cycle.
Oh, this is not spin RNG.
Deciding between spinning and slashing and having to do it in a fraction of a second, that's what makes this fight so hard. It's not the angles necessarily, it's just having made the right decisions and needing to make the right decisions as soon as all of the guys stop warping.
Right. Luckily, as you said, most rando races are like 4 minutes apart, and so 6 cycling Agatu doesn't matter.
Very rarely will make a difference,
But since we're both speedrunners, we get to complain about it.
Also, like, it's not a 6-minute gap until the race is over. Like, when you're
I know for sure.
Fight, it's like, okay, well, I just lost the race because of those 6 seconds.
You don't want to give up the time.
The fanfare becomes so stressful when you've blown Agatu. You're like, the whole fanfare is like, I could be done around. I could have already been done.
Do you check? Okay, so Spleebie remembered that the stunt prize was arrows, which is presumably why he didn't bother with anything in Eastern. Do you have like personal discipline around when you look at the race time room or any of that stuff? Like, oh, I don't check until or after I enter GT, I don't look anymore or anything like that?
I think it's pretty good practice to, if you get distracted by the race time room, which is me, I will minimize it once I'm in GT. And certainly for the Ganon fight, I probably had my worst time losses on Ganon when I was like watching people finish a race in the race room, or watching a 1v1 like room to see like, oh, is my opponent done? Is my opponent done after like every spin or something like that? So I am a fan of minimizing it and just not looking like once I'm in GT.
Fair. Tam,
this fight sucks. I told you, this fight sucks. Nobody knows how to do it correctly. There are the RNGs that you're supposed to be super aggressive on, where you got to be like really close to them, that nobody wants to do that because it's a bad fight.
All right, so we're about to find out whether or not Spleebie keeps his racetime.gg room open. GG to Tam.
GG to Tam. That
great
was a
job.
hell of a race. Really
played everything right, basically, and got very lucky. And
would have been very
maximized the luck.
This would have been very difficult to for anybody in the tournament to beat Tam in this seed today.
Yeah. Oh, Spleebie is saying he closes it after go mode, so he's going to finish this race out on our screen, which of course is delayed. GG's to Spleebie. We have Tam joining us. GG, excellent work. Really nice.
Thanks, GG's.
So how were you feeling? We were talking about sometime around when everything in Mireshed based on the flute in Swamp. You got to be feeling good at that point, right?
Kind of. But on the other hand, it's random. It's literally impossible to feel good about a random race.
Right. But up to that limit.
I was feeling as good as I possibly could be, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those rare ones where just there wasn't really anything you could look back and be like, boy, I wish I didn't do this. And it even seemed like you had done some routing decisions early in Dark World to be a little conservative based on the things it looked like you had gotten away with in Light World, like the skip of Desert for Landmo with the 2 items, and then obviously the early Agaplay before Eastern. So like that was leaving you feeling pretty good. And it seemed like you then shifted to a much more conservative early Dark World strat until it was time to choose between Smiths and Swamp Palace.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally everything I did was pretty much correct, so I probably didn't deserve that.
Yeah, it's a good way to live, though.
In terms of the Dark World stuff, like in Dark World, I just really don't want to skip anything when I don't have nits yet. So.
Oh, interesting.
Like, because you don't want to have to run back to the Village Outcast portal the long way. So just do, like, Grand Legend, King's Turn, full clear everything. You also want to find stuff to make Death Mountain better as well, so. I thought about just going to Death Mountain before Dark World, but it didn't seem correct.
Yeah. It certainly worked out, and I think I agree that it was correct. But, what do I know?
No, there's not much you can really take issue with. I think either of you did in this. Spleebie was just a little bit more conservative early. Obviously that hurt him with Desert, that hurt him with Eastern Palace, and then obviously you made the Swamp play a little bit before he did, and there was really, the way the items laid out in the Dark World, there wasn't really a chance for him even to make back that Light World time. So the decisions you made in the Light World gave you the lead that the seed wasn't going to let you give back. So that's sometimes all it comes down to.
We were thinking about it, and Spleebie is an excellent hoverer, and I don't know if you didn't hover, if you can't hover, or if you just weren't feeling it or whatever, but there were a couple places where if hovering had been really critical, that could have changed things, but for the most part, you just had a big lead going into Dark World and then never gave anything up.
Yeah, I honestly probably didn't deserve to have my Light World route pay off the way it did. It was kind of stupid. And then Aga kind of felt like a bit of desperation because I didn't go to Easton and I didn't finish Desert.
It was definitely aggressive, but man, did it work.
Yeah, no, it paid off a lot more than it should have. And I mean, I had the mirror, so I could just go to Eastern off the pod anyway. But,
yeah.
And then, yeah, the Hookshot Cave, like, I actually really did not want to find the Hookshot in Swamp, because I knew that if anything was in Hookshot Cave, Spleebie had it already, so.
Right.
And the flute was also there, that was a big sigh of relief.
Yeah, and then you go straight to Mire, which is a very obvious choice. And from there you find the ability to both enter and full clear Turtle Rock, which gives you the ability to enter Mire.
Yeah, find one of my Grimroad items, find out that I need an extra Grimroad item, and then find all 3 of my other Grimroad items like back to back.
Yeah, quite the finish.
Yeah.
It almost had to happen. This seed was so stingy until the Swamp Flute TR section.
I was kind of expecting to find Caney Mile and then dip Turtle Rock for Ice Rod or whatever, but I didn't even have to I didn't have to ask any difficult question about what to do.
Right.
I just did the dungeons.
It was a pretty great performance. There aren't that many reasonable routes that would have come close to yours in this one. So it's just, I was looking before the race. You've got to be one of the players in the last couple of years that have played like the most rando seeds in this community. Like you're 400 races on the ladder. Do you feel like having all of that wealth of 1v1 experience lets you make those better 1v1 calls sometimes in races like this, where it's like, I know this is how conservative I want to be based on what's happened so far, or this is how aggressive I want to be based on what's happened so far? Do you feel like that's really given you a leg up with all that 1v1 experience?
I do kind of feel that I've got a pretty good sense of when a seed is an Aga seed, and the equation I go by is, can I kill Ganon? If yes, it's an Aga seed. So,
the voice of experience.
Love it.
Yeah, I've definitely lost some races to some aggressive Aga kills, but it wins me more races than I think it loses me.
I think that. Well, I don't really. I don't really know. I'm not a rando expert, but I do feel like people don't gamble on Aganim probably as much as is optimal.
I agree.
So there's all these cases where you're like, oh, well, there's 3 items. If any of them are hammer, then that's way faster than Aga. But if none of them are, then you're losing so much time. And sometimes you got to have it in your range to just go knock down Aga's door.
Yeah, I did think it was kind of funny that with you 2 on comms, and then I had this like 15-minute period where I was just doing MMG stuff. With, like, Master Slide, Hammer and Pod, go South Dark World.
Your execution was really strong this whole race. Very, very clean.
I did not feel that way.
Really, I'm obviously not watching it as closely as you're watching yourself, but I saw no big issues, nothing really going wrong.
Yeah, standard disclaimer, Fox and I are terrible at watching what's happening on the screen, but both of us really couldn't think of anything. Even once like you hit go mode, all your boss fights were looking very solid. You didn't have any slip-ups there. You slashed maybe like a couple frames too early on the last hit on Cold Stare. That's like maybe the only thing I can even think of. Anybody watching this tonight would come away thinking, like, hey, Tam is one of the scariest players that's remaining in this tournament, because you all that experience you've got. Like you even said, your loadout pre-Aga helped you make the Aga call because you knew, like, hey, I can just mirror to Eastern if it ends up being that. So even if I lose time, I don't lose tons and tons of time. That is a scary combination with somebody who can play the game and not make any execution mistakes. Although this was probably one of the friendlier SGL casual boots early games, with the number of hearts, your early blue mail, you had some sword upgrades early, you had a bottle first thing. So it actually was kind of a comfier seed than, sometimes these can be.
Spleebie trying to clipe.
Started to.
Yeah, it was pretty hard in this seed to ever feel in much danger of dying or anything. It kind of helped with the ice play.
Yeah, you even got the fairies from the waterfall fairy.
Yeah, which I don't think I ever actually used. Yeah, I used it in Spike Cave, but I realized.
I think you finished the game with a fairy, right?
Oh, I only got one from the waterfall.
Okay.
Spleebie hung around and got 2 when he was in there.
I realized after the fact that I should have used that fairy to do right side pod, but I didn't. And I just totally forgot.
Oh, you mean to replace it with a potion?
No, you can fairy revive to do the camera unlock.
You can? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. So speaking of staying in this tournament, somebody probably knows who your next opponent is, right?
I think it's Yoshi.
Okay, another very strong player.
Yeah, that's pretty.
I guess that's
scary.
not a huge surprise that
Yeah, I mean,
the players
if I'm
left are
playing-
strong.
If I'm playing somebody, it's a scary opponent. So
Yeah.
Spleebie was a scary opponent. My previous opponent was a scary opponent. If I win versus Yoshi, my next opponent will be scary. It's just how it goes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty much been true for a couple of rounds now. Everybody who's left is pretty scary.
Everyone
Even-
after I got O2'd, the rest of the field was scary.
The whole top 128, like you can't put a tournament together in this community anymore and not think you're getting the best of the best. There's just a lot of good players. Last arrow there for Spleebie into Ganon.
Perfect.
And,
GG's to Spleebie.
He is in. GG's for him. Like we said, not really any mistakes here. Just this is the way.
No.
This is the way it plays out sometimes in Rando.
Yeah, you could pick Tam's route where you skip everything, gamble on Aga, and win the seed by 5 minutes, or you can pick Spleebie's route, and if the RNG is a little bit different, this whole race just goes in his favor. I think they're both totally valid choices. We got to see how they both played out. This time it worked out for Tam instead of Spleebie. GG's, Spleebie. Welcome.
Speaking of GG's, Spleebie.
Hey, GG's Tam.
GG.
I just got punished for like every decision I made, so that felt
Yeah.
great.
It's everybody who's played Rando has been there, making the conservative decisions and none of them paying off. And you know, just as you make them, and you're like, well, this didn't pay off, and this one didn't pay off, and feeling worse and worse. I assume you weren't feeling great. Probably middle of Dark World, you probably started feeling like this is not going my way so far.
Yeah. Yeah. And then dipping. Before going to Aghanim, I was like, you know, I've got the book, and I chased that to Desert, and we got the mirror, and we went to Hera, and at that point, I was like, Tam has to have gone to Aghanim already, so I should just go to Eastern and hope that it's something that they missed, you know. And it wasn't, but and then last locationing hookshot and flute in Swamp. That was great.
At least it was like you didn't even have the choice to leave something left side. Like you had to go there is all you had left.
Yeah, after getting the hookshot, it's like, okay, great. Well, I can't do anything with that. Literally nothing. I had already done Hookshot Cave, and that was it.
Yeah, I think really this whole race came down to how the two of you chose to play the Light World. You, I mean, one of you was just going to win based on that with the rest of the way the rest of the items were. I don't know. We keep saying this, but neither of you made up any like bad decisions strategically. Somebody had to get lucky. You can't both get lucky making those opposite decisions. So it's just, you know, the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty rare, honestly, to have a Dark World that lays out like this, where like the person who's behind coming into Dark World, the layout of the items in Dark World just does not even really give them a chance.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way it was laid out here. Like a 4 or 5 minute deficit into Dark World, you basically didn't have any locations where there were items in this one that could have saved you. So it was just not exactly linear or anything like that, but it wasn't there.
No.
And you actually did make some plays. Like you hovered to the big key in pod that gave you a shot at something in the big chest in pod. And
If that had been
hookshot
critical, that could have really mattered, but you never got lucky.
Yeah.
The hovers, by the
Hookshot
way,
Cave.
were
If Hookshot Cave
fantastic.
had been something.
Yeah. Yeah, your hovers are so good, dude.
Today they were. Yeah, thanks. You know,
Like
I
we
have
said,
off
like,
days, but
There are a lot of hover capable people out there in the rando world these days, but there's a difference between hovering and hovering fast and accurately the way you were doing it, which is just another skill that not a lot of people have. So it's always impressive to see that. It's impressive to see the difficult hovers too in pod, and so you at least did give yourself some of those chances there. Like there are chests that are in the light world and there are chests that are in the dark world that if there was something there, you could have turned it around. And sometimes that's all you get. Sometimes you get like 10 chests that you have over your opponent, and there's nothing in those, and now you're losing by 10 minutes versus you might be winning by 10 minutes if something's there. This is probably the way most rando races play out between two really good players. It's a 10-minute deficit, and it's not really anybody's fault. It's just
it's rando.
Exactly. If you don't like it, you find another game to play, right?
If that was anything in Easton, I was totally screwed in this race because I was not going there.
Yeah.
But yeah, GG's to you both. Tam, moving on. Spleebie, this is the end of your tournament. You'd had a very prolonged run through the lower bracket there. You were the one kicking everybody out of the tournament for a while. You're on your way out. Any last thoughts about how the SGL experience has been this time around?
Yeah, I mean, every match was scary. So, even down to the, everyone in the top 128, I think, is a good
Even
player.
the Foxlisk match, that was a scary one.
No, Foxlisk, he's an NMG runner, so I thought it was fine.
I don't know what I'm doing.
No, I was still scared.
This guy wants to go into Ice Palace with no mitts. I mean, come on. That's not even legal, Fox.
Oh, that's easy.
There was a while where Ice Rod on Helma could have definitely been a factor in that race just now.
Yeah,
which would have been pretty funny.
In our race here.
Yeah, we saw that, yeah.
And I was like, wait, no bow. That doesn't work.
It's a different tournament Spleebie now we're in where we could have got our bow on Helmasaur, maybe. Not really.
Yeah, in the HMG.
Yeah.
Well, bow on Helmasaur, in the No Logic tournament.
Sure.
That one's a lot easier.
Yeah, bring it on.
Than HMG.
Just realizing I'm like the least glitch capable person here in this chat, so geez. I'll take my bow on Uncle, thank you very much.
Former All Dungeons World Record holder Blaine is the least glitch capable person.
Yes, what a fraud I am.
What?
I can do glitches if they're with the boots. That's it. You gotta get me doing stuff in a doorway? No, thank you. I draw the line. But all right, I guess in the interest of wrapping this up, again, GG's to both of you guys. Tam, moving on. Yeah, we got a little bit of rando after dark, at least for some of us after dark. It was a fun one. You guys put on a good show.
This was great. A little bit on rails after the Light World, but really, really nice to see both of you play really well. Shout outs to Blaine doing this with me. Shout outs to Clear Mouse, tracking, saving our butts multiple times when we didn't remember.
Geez, yes, not even just tracking, but like saying in chat when we were being stupid also. Be like, hey guys, you're talking about something. No, there's still an item there because, she's paying attention. We might not be, but she is.
Yeah. She's the backbone of this operation.
And everybody else who stuck around for the ride. Thanks, chat. Thanks for hanging around. Everybody behind the scenes too.
Thanks.
Fox, I'll give you last words here. If you want to take us out.
I don't know. Where are we going next? Where are we taking these people to after this great show? Is there anything else on?
Are there even matches scheduled? If I was capable, I would pull that up, but my Discord is a giant stream right now, so I don't even know where to go for that.
There's a 3:10 a.m. league race.
Ooh.
Which I assume by 3:10 a.m. you mean in 2 hours?
Sounds good. I think we got some afternoon rando tomorrow. Wharf Jig in Hatefield Bay. 1:20 Eastern, Megawatt T-Stew. 3:20 Eastern. No idea if those will be on the SpeedGaming network of channels here, but we're coming down to the very last part of this initial bracket. We're almost down to the final 32 SGLIVE participants. So
yeah,
even more top level rando to come.
And then in I don't know, whenever it is, a couple weeks, you get to see the top 32 blitz it out.
November 5th.
That'll be great too.
I think November 5th, next Friday.
Next Friday.
A week from today. A week from
Awesome.
today. Get hyped. If you couldn't be more hyped from our hype that we're showing right now, just try to get more hyped.
We're both very hyped. We're really shoutcasters, practically.
We're bringing the hype, right? Like, look, I can only bring so much hype past midnight, so I'm trying here. But anyway, before they kick us out of here, actually, I don't know. Would they even kick us out? It's like it's so late. They're probably not even paying attention to us anymore. We could talk all night. GG's to Tam and Spleebie. Good luck in all of your future endeavors. Fox, it's been a pleasure. Take us out of here for real this time.
All right, thanks everyone for hanging out. This was really great. I hope there will be more people back on Speed Gaming with more great rando races coming soon. And I guess we'll be taking it off from here. Have a good night, everyone.
See you.